This
chapter we
conference
are
will
going to
now be
talk about.
recorded.
So in this chapter, we are going to talk about the data replication with ALE IDOC configuration along with change pointer and the SOA manager configuration as well. Apart from replication, we will also talk about the data import framework, which is DIF, and then we will talk about file download, file upload, and then we will touch upon the consolidation and mass processing. While doing the consolidation and mass processing, I will also touch upon Fiori configuration and concepts. Okay, so this consolidation and mass processing will run on Fiori. So that also I will touch together. Okay, so these are all things we will talk about today. So let's start with replication. So the data replication process having two-way or two possibilities to build the replication framework. One is ALE IDOC with change pointer and with DRF, data replication framework. And the another one is a DRF with SOA services. So one is DRF with ALE IDOC, another one is DRF with SOA services. Okay. So this is the two process we have. Now let's talk about the first ALE IDOC process, then we'll come to the SOA manager. So in order to do the data replication through ALE IDOC, we have taken a couple of systems as a part of the process, and those couple of systems are, so client 800, which is we use as usual, that is nothing but we will use as a source system, and the another client, which is client 810, which we will use as a target system. So this is my target system. So I have two systems now. So now the very first thing is step one, create logical system using the T code SALE. So first I will go to the source system. So these steps are on source system. Client is source system, which is here 800 client. So the transaction SALE, go to the basic settings, logical systems, and define logical systems. So here we have defined the logical system. So send underscore 800. I have given this naming convention. Obviously, naming convention can be given according to the business requirement. So logical system, this is my source system, and another system which I have created, that is nothing but the target system, which is nothing but receive underscore 810. So this is the two systems which I have. Send 800, receive 810. Now the next step. Assign those logical systems with the respective client. So assign the logical system to client. So this is the 800 system. You can see. So the client 800 is assigned with the logical system send 800. Similarly, client 810 associate with the logical system receive 810. Okay. Next is create physical connection between those two systems, basically the RFC channel. So for RFC channel, the transaction which we will use, that is SM59. So in SM59, go to above connections, and there I have created the RFC connection name with the same name of target system, just to make to find it easily. So this is my RFC connection, which is under the above connection type. And in the logon security, I have given the username and the password for 810 client. So 810 client username and password I have received from coordinator. Okay. So coordinator provided those details. So accordingly, I maintained that. And then I did a remote logon. So it's a test. So now you can see I was in 800 client. By using the remote logon, I successfully uh, uh, came to or navigate to client 810. Okay, so that means my RFC connection. So this is the 800 client, and when I remote log on, so I remotely logged into the 810 client. So that is successful. So my RFC destination is okay, or RFC configuration is okay. Next is create IDOC type using T code WE30. So basically I have used the standard IDOC type. Let's say for an example, I have taken here material master. Okay. So the IDOC type, the segment, and the message type. So if I start with, let's say, the IDOC type WE30, WE30. So the IDOC type is MATMA 05. So this is the MATMA 05. And you can see under the MATMAs, we have the segments. These are all segment. E1 Maram is the material master basic segment. Then followed by some additional field in Mara table. So basically whatever you have in the Mara table, majorly the fields will be, the standard fields will be accommodated in E1 Maram. Then followed by E1 MAKTM, which is for the material description, which is MAKT table. Then for plant details, E1 MARCM for plant table MARC. So similarly, you can see there are different informations. For different informations, you have a different segments. Now this segment, if I want to see E1 Maram, then which transaction I need to go WE31 to see the segment. WE31. So you can see this is the versions, and when I enter into this, you can see under this segment you have material number, you have material type, industry sector, material group. So these are all like your basic details of the material master data, and which is under this E1 Maram segment. Okay. Next is create linkage between the IDOC type and message type, which is WE82. But before that, we need to see the message type, and the message type transaction is WE81, where you can find the message type. So for material, it's MATMAS01. Oh, sorry, MATMAS. MATMAS is nothing but material. Similarly, for DBMAS for customer master data. Similarly, for vendor master data, CRE mass. Okay, so these are all different message type which has been used. Okay, now these are all standard, by the way. Then the next transaction is WE82, where you can see the linkage between the message type and IDOC type. So the message type, let's say MATMAS, the IDOC type is MATMAS 05, and here you can see this is the entry. and this is the release. Okay, so this is, and if in case I am using the custom message type, sorry, custom basic type, then similarly the custom basic type has to be linked with the message type. Then next is the distribution model, BD64. Either you can go to BD64 or you can go to SALE transaction. From SALE transaction, you can go to master data, maintain distribution model and distribute views. Okay, so this is, or directly you can come to BD64. So basically what happens here, we create the distribution model. Basically in this model, we have the sending system, receiving system, and the message type. So I have created here we have. So I have created here the distribution model called MDG, and the technical name I have given ZMDG. The source system has been maintained as send 800. The target system has been maintained as receive 810, and the message type has been maintained as a material master. Okay, so this is the distribution model which I created. How you create this? You can directly, this is in a display mode, but when you go for a edit mode, you can use this create model view and then add message type. So this way you can add the message type including the source and target system. Once you complete that and save, then the next thing what you need to do, that is generate partner profile. So generate partner profile means what is going to happen. So whatever you have created in the distribution model, that based on the distribution model, your partner profile will be created or generated, whatever you say. Okay, so then you just execute that, and you can see this is the partner profile which has been created for, let's say, 800 client. So 800 client, if I see, so what is this transaction? This is WE20. In WE20, and what is the name? Name is send 800. So this is 800 system, send 800. If I see, we don't have anything. Why we don't have anything? Because this is the source system. So we have to always go for the target one. So target is receive 810. So double click on it. Again, this is 800 client, and this is the partner profile. Go to the logical system and search for this receive 800, and you can see, as I have generated this, automatically this detail has been created as an outbound parameter. Why outbound parameter? Because this is the source system. So from source system, it is going to out for what? Out for target system 810. Okay, so that's what. For outbound parameter, we have metmas. So this is metmas. Okay, so this is the basic type. You can see the message type and the receiving port, which will create automatically. And the another one is synchronization. Synchronization means this is required for the synchronize the system. Okay, whatever you have as a source and target, that will sync. So synchronization. This is the one which will create here automatically, because we generate the partner profile, and this is the port details, and this is the message type, matmas and synchron. Synchron is for synchronization. Okay. So once this is done, what is next thing? The next thing is, again you select this, come to edit, model view, and distribute. Distribute to where? Distribute to the target logical system. So already I have distributed, so I need not to distribute again. Otherwise, you just continue. So as soon as you distribute this, what is going to happen? Then you go to 810. So far, whatever we were discussing, that was on 800 client, which is source client. Now, the first time we come for 810, which is nothing but the target client. Okay. Now in target client, we have, so first thing what we need to see, that is the distribution model which has been shared, whether that distribution model is present or not. So what I need to do, I need to go to BD64 directly and see this MDG, this distribution model is here. Okay, so that means the distribution model has been successfully distributed. Now again, select this, go to environment and generate partner profile. Why I am doing generate partner profile again? Because this is for 810 client. So generate partner profile, execute, and this is for 810. And now if I go to send 800, now you can see under the inbound parameter, we have Matmos. Why inbound parameter for 810? Because 810 received the data. It received the data. Okay. From where? From source system. And the synchronization is for synchronization of the data. And if I see here, I can see the message type is Matmos. The process code is MATM. Okay. This is the standard one. So once this is done, what we need to do? So port and partner profile automatically that will taken care. So no need to do all those things. Now we will execute one. Okay. So now let's go to the source system first, 800 client. What we will do, we will quickly search some material from Mara table since this year. So if I see from January 1st to till date, how many entries we have? 9 entries we have in this system. And this is all with WF batch, means through MDG entry. Very good. So let's pick one entry. This is the material number. And what we will do, we will go to BD10, which is the transaction for material send. Enter the material number. Message type is already Matmos. Logical system. Logical system is the target system we have to give, because this data ultimately I need to send it to the target system and execute. You can see one master IDOC has been created for Matmos message type. Okay. Now continue with this. Remember this entry. It's 5558 end with material number. So go to WE02. This is all I'm doing 800 client source system. Now I can see there is one entry and which has been successfully moved. Okay, successfully processed. First, let me check the material number. So this is the material number and this is the status. Okay, so basically this is a IDOC information. In any IDOC information, there are 3 kinds of information. One is the control record. Control record is having the IDOC number, whether it is a inbound entry IDOC or outbound IDOC. whether what kind of message type it has, what kind of basic type it has, what time it has been entered or triggered, etc., etc. So all the basic details. Then you have the data record where you have MARM and followed by all those segments where you have entered the uh, uh, field details, and those entries you can visible here. And then you have the status record. Status record is defining the status. So here you can see, by seeing the status, you can say my IDOC is successfully. So IDOC sent to SAP system or external program, and that is to successful. How successful? Because this 03 is nothing but the successful message, okay, or rather successful status. And also you can see the green signal here. If it is error or something wrong, then it will come as a red, or if it is a warning, then it will come as yellow. Okay, so it has been successfully moved from source system. Now I will see in the target system. So in 810 client, when I see in 810 client WE02, I can see error. And what is the error status? 51. So I can see it is the 51 status. First, I need to see whether this is my material. Yes, this is my material. Okay. Then what next? First of all, I can see the port details is wrong, because the port details which we have here, that is something different. Just now we have seen. If I go to generate profile, okay, not here. This is the port. So the receiving port is here 008, but we are seeing here something different. Anyway, that is fine, but we need here this one. Anyway, let's continue to identify what is the problem. So I can see the 51 application document not posted. That means it has successfully entered into this system, but it is not. Now we need to check why it is not updated. Okay, and I go there, 51, double click on 51 and application log, and here I can see the reason is very clear. The material type AEM does not exist. Does not exist where? Does not exist in this 810 system. Okay, so if I see what is AEM, that is nothing but the material type. See, MTART, material type. So this material type is not available in this target system. Because of that reason, the error has occurred. Otherwise, I can't see the material does not. Yeah, I can't see any other problem. Only this material type. So if we will make this material type available in this system, then there is no issue at all. Okay. So this is the issue with this IDOC. But our replication has been done successfully. My data has been successfully reached to the target system. Okay, but it could not able to save because this entry is not present in this system. Clear? So this is how we, till step 10, this is the basic procedures, basic step when you create any replication scenario. So this is for the 800 client, step 1 to 10. Similarly, for client 810, we maintain the distribution model, and also port and partner profile, it generate automatically. Now the thing is, whether till this much is enough? No, it's not enough. Why? Because so far, if you observe, we use BD10. We use BD10 transaction in order to replicate this material. But in MDG, this is not going to happen, because in MDG, the moment you create some master data, whether it is a material or whether it is a vendor or whether it is a customer, keep in mind, immediately after the change request activation, the master data will replicate to the target system, and that will happen automatically. So no user intervention is required manually. Okay. So in that case, we need to follow another 4 steps. And what are those 4 steps? First is step 11, define technical settings for the business system using T code MDG IMG. By the way, this 4 step is define DRF, data replication framework. That's what I said. It is ALE IDOC with DRF. So far, whatever we discussed, this is ALE IDOC configuration. Now we are talking about the DRF. Okay. So now in the DRF, first is we will go to MDG IMG. So this is 800 client. So always we have to go for the source system. MDG IMG. Either we can use MDG IMG or another transaction can be used, that is DRF IMG. That is also can be used. What is the difference? The difference is very nominal, and the difference is, if I compare this both, so this one, which is a direct, you open the replication part, but here in MDG IMG, you have to go to data replication, and then the rest of the details are remain same. You can see. Okay. So that's the only difference. Either you can go with MDG IMG or you can directly open DRF IMG. Okay. So next is define technical settings for a business system. Here it is. Define technical settings for business system. Now here what we need to create? We need to create one business system. Now what is business system? Business system is nothing but it is a kind of a target system you can consider. Okay. But these business systems we have to create categorically for this MDG process. So let me create. So the business system name, let's say I'm giving MDG material. Logical system name. The logical system name you have to give the target system. So the target system name. RFC destination. Coincidentally, I have given the same name just to easy to remember. That's what. The RFC destination name and the target system logical system name I have given same. Make sure we can remember easily. That's what. Nothing more than that. Logical file path not needed. Just save. Okay. This is the customizing request. So continue with that. Define the BO. So here 194. 194 is for material because I am doing the example of material. So this is, you can see, this is for customer. This is for business partner. This is for material. Similarly, we have for supplier as well. So I'm just selecting material. Continue. Now you can see communication channel. C channel is nothing but communication channel. The communication channel, whether you want through the SOA services or you want through IDOC, or you want through files transfer, or you want with some RFC destination. So basically, this is something which we are doing with the IDOC. So let's go with IDOC. Key harmonizing not required. Okay, like this is whether you have any key mapping or etc. So I'm just keeping no. Then next is storage replication not defined. It will take by default. Then the next one is also not defined. So this is the information which we need to create, which is nothing but called business system. Basically, we create the business system. Now this business system, now you can see in our system, we have to keep only one business system which we are using, or we have to use those business system which we are using. I can see rest of all the business systems are enabled, but in that case you may face some problem. So you have to disable those which you are not using. Okay, and only keep the one which you are using. Then what is next? Define replication model. Then next is define replication models. Now here you need to create the replication model. Again, is there anything already created for material? No. So let's create entry. Now the replication model name, give almost same name. Okay. Then description. Now log day. No, log day not necessary. Either you can give 1 day or 2 day, whatever. But just give 1 day. Data model Then next is outbound implementation. Now here in outbound implementation, you need to see the implementation for material. See, outbound implementation for material, I_mat, this one. And the sequence. What is that sequence? Again, the communication channel sequence. Which one? Either through services or IDOC or file transfer or RFC. I have chosen IDOC. And keep in mind the numbers start with 0, not 1. 0, 1, 2, 3. So here in that case it will be 1. See, replication via IDOC. And rest of the detail will keep as it is. Then next is business system. So the business system which just now we created, this is the one. And then assign outbound parameter. This is the one. Okay. So basically, in this replication model, we define the outbound implementation and also define the business system which we created earlier this day. And finally, select it, save it, and activate it. Okay. Now you can see it's activated successfully. So you have to activate this properly. Okay. Otherwise it will not work. Then next is define outbound implementation. Yes. Now this is basically optional step. So basically what you see, I underscore mat, what we have given the outbound implementation. Definitely behind this outbound implementation, there is some logic which has been maintained for the replication. And what is that class or what is that logic? So if I see here, define outbound implementation, define outbound implementation, and here I underscore mat, which is, you can see, replication via IDOC. This one. So this is the BO type for material, and this is the filter object, and this is for material. The most important thing, the outbound implementation class. So this is the outbound implementation class. Now if I open this class, AC24, okay, so this is the class which is responsible for the replication. So which method is mainly responsible? If I quickly check this one, send matmas IDOC, to send the material IDOC. Okay, this is the class. Okay, so then what next? The next is we have to, so here you can see this is the standard code. So basically, if we are using the standard logic, then it's fine. If we are using the custom logic, like I want to send this one, master IDOC create matmas. This is the one. Okay. So let's say if I want to use some custom field, then I can come to this class and I can extend those method for the custom fields. Okay, so this is the reason I came here to show. And last but not the least, this class, CL USMD distribution services, because so far step number 11, 12 and 13, what we discussed, this is the replication will trigger. So far, whenever you activate it, the replication will trigger. But how system will know that when it will require to trigger? So for that, we need to come to this class, CL USMD distribution services. Distribution services, replication services. Okay, go to the method, and which method we need to go? We need to go to distribute material, and we have a signature which is this one. All we need to do, we need to create enhancement. What is enhancement? What kind of enhancement? So let's say I'm creating one implicit enhancement. I'm saving it in local object. So this is the one parameter. er underscore distribute material equals to about true. Okay. Save it and activate. Fine. So what we are saying, we are going to distribute this material when this is above true. And when it will be above true, the change request is activated. That means all I'm saying to this system that whenever my change request is activated, then my data needs to replicate. Okay. So this is the configuration. Only these 4 steps is related to the DRF. The rest steps are as usual ALE IDOC steps. Okay. Now continuation of this, coming to the change pointer. Now what is this change pointer? Change pointer is nothing but like you want whenever some changes will make in the source system, you want that change should trigger to the target system. Usually what happens when you perform step 11 to 14, and by the way, in MDG, even for the small change also you are going to do through change request. So whether it is a small change or big change, doesn't matter. You are using change request, and that change request you process. Okay, and once you are processing, automatically these steps will help you in order to trigger the IDOC data. But let's say you are not using these 4 steps. You are not using DRF, which is definitely not going to be your scenario because MDG means DRF should be there. Okay. But without DRF, how you can manage this through normal change pointer? So these are all steps. So first is BD50. This is the configuration which you need to follow. BD50 and which message type? That is matmos. I'm sure this is not necessary, but still I'm touching those configurations. So the message type has to be activated for the change pointer. That is one thing. Second thing is BD61. And all you need to do that is in the source system, not in the target system, because ultimately your data will be changed in the source system. So BD61. So the change pointer activated. So this checkbox needs to be ticked. Okay. And the third one is BD21. BD21, which is for the creating IDOC type from the change pointer. So which IDOC type you are going to create? So the moment I will say matmos and execute, what is going to happen? It will create all the matmos related materials IDOC in order to replicate from source to the target system. Okay, so that's what. Or we can do one thing regarding this step. We have this program RBDM IDOC. So this program we can set as a background job. So what is going to happen? Like every, let's say 10 minutes, this job will trigger, and within 10 minutes, whatever you make the changes, that change will replicate to the target system. But again, I repeat, this is not necessary. when you are doing the DRF process, because DRF process is already taken care the update scenario as well, because ultimately whether it is a create or update doesn't matter, you are using the the DRF steps, which is nothing but step 11 to 40. Okay, and you already have seen for reprocessing the failed IDOC, we use the transaction BD87. For display the IDOC, we use WE02 or WE05. And for reprocess the successful IDOC, we use WE19. So those transactions also used frequently in MDG project in order to do the monitoring IDOCs. Okay, so this is related to the ALE IDOC with DRF. Now I will come to the next, which is okay. Now I will come to the next point, which is DRF with SOA services. DRF with SOA services. Now regarding this DRF with SOA services, I have already a document placed. So basically in this document, it has been clearly mentioned the necessary configuration for the SOA manager and the web services on MDG and the target ECC. Okay. Now, most of the configuration which has been maintained, that is required a clear direction from basis. Okay, but there are few transactions which required MDG involvement, like MDG developer can involve. But most of the configuration steps could be managed by the basis team. So I will quickly go through this document. First is configure the SLD. By the way, here it is not possible to, as it is replicate those scenarios, what we have done for IDOC. The reason is, as I mentioned, that it is required a good amount of steps, which is required a clear direction from basis. That's what. So first is we configure the SLD. By the way, whatever the steps I will read out for basis, you need not to worry about it. They will take care. Okay. So configure the SLD. SLD is nothing but a kind of a middle layer. Okay, which basically required to add the technical system and business system with SLD. Then create the system user. You have a system, and then that system you should have a username, password, etc. Okay. So this is the details about what are the roles required for this. Then business functions. So for SOA, you have a business function called FND underscore SOA underscore reuse underscore one. So that business function needs to be activated. Again, these are all basis steps. I will mention which steps needs to be required from the MDG side. Okay. But why I'm talking about this basis step? Because your basis doesn't know what are those steps serially they have to follow. So you have to tell them this is the steps which you need to follow. Okay. So DRF replication, which is MDG foundation, foundation 2, these are all for DRF replication. Then support for point-to-point communication sequence. So this is the SPRO configurations they have to follow for point-to-point configurations. Okay. Then setting up SOA manager. So again, this is the steps which they have to use. SRT underscore admin, and these are all the SOA services. I mean, rather I can say it's a web services. Okay. So that needs to be activated, or that needs to be present in the system. Again, this is a basis task. These are all basis tasks. Just explained what needs to be done. You may not understand, but basis will understand clearly. Then configure the connection and create the provider system. So this is the configuration for the systems. They're all. Then create the MDG profiles. This is the profile details. Again, this is basis task. This is the profile details, username, password, etc. This is the username, password. Configure the business scenario configuration, and this is the business scenarios. Now here, from here, I can say that MDG can play a little role on this. Okay, so basically, if I'm setting up the replication channel for the business scenario, let's say for BP, okay, then what are those things I need to be consider in BP? So basically, the name for uh, the replication channel, I mean the inbound or outbound, these are all things, and the profiles details. Zoom a little bit. This is the detail. So one is the replication, another one is the replication configurations. Okay, then next is similarly, this is another level of configurations. Then create a user logon for data management. By seeing the heading, you must be understand that this is something which is mostly the basis uh, activities. So log on data management, maintain the username password for the system. This is again some settings. Then again web service configuration. Here again MDG can play a little role on this. So here MDG, this you can search with the supplier or customer, whatever you have, the SOA services. So based on that, you have replication and you have a confirmation. So basically what happened, when you send the data to the SOA manager, when you send the data from source to the target system, you in IDOC, what happens? We just send the IDOC data. We just send the IDOC to the target system. But SOA manager is not like that. We send the SOA message from source to target, and then we receive the confirmation from target to source. So it's a both-way communication basically. So source basically receive one confirmation that yes, it has been reached successfully. That is, so this is the navigations for S proxies. So these are all for you can see here. If I zoom a little bit, so this is for the request, the second one, and the first one is the request replication. Second one is replication request. The first one is replication confirmation. And this is the detail. Mostly these details will come automatically when you assign those web services. Yeah. Just you need to provide the necessary username, password, authorizations, etc. This is the details. And now from here, so far whatever I just talked about, this is mostly basic step. Now again, from here the DRF steps start. And what are those DRF steps? Again, those 4 steps: 11, 12, 13, and 14. These 4 steps. Okay. In fact, 13, 14 not required. 11 and 12. Let's see. Okay.
RFC channel creation. Okay, that is anyway part of standard. BD54 logical systems. This is already this one. Step number 3, RFC connection creation. Then logical system assignment, step 2. These are all. Then DRF IMG technical settings, which is step number 11. And next is, and here you are doing replication via services. For IDOC, we were doing replication via IDOC, but this one you have to select replication via services. And then step number 12. Step number 12. And that complete. Only 2 steps, 11 and 12. 13, 14 not needed for SOA manager. Okay, so this is the complete details about, I would say, the data replication process with ALE IDOC with DRF and SOA services with DRF, both. Okay, so any question so far regarding this replication process?
Yeah, Aditya, like when would you use SOA services versus ALE IDOC?
Sorry, come again.
Like the question was, when would you use SOA services versus the ALE IDOC? Is there a reason to use the SOA services?
Yes, yes. The reason to use the SOA services and when we can use that, mostly for material master, we use ALE IDOC, and whenever it's customer, supplier, and finance, we use the SOA services. Me that for supplier and customer we cannot use the IDOC. Yes, you can. You also can use the ALE IDOC for uh, customer and supplier. But what always prefer this.
Aditya, your voice is getting cut.
Sorry, I got disconnected. Wait a minute. I got a call in between. Okay. So the answer is, when you can use SOA services and ALE IDOC. Whenever you are using material master, you are supposed to use the ALE IDOC. And whenever you are using customer, supplier, and finance, you are supposed to use SOA services. Yes, you also can use ALE IDOC for supplier and customer as well. Okay, but normally we recommend to use the SOA manager for supplier, customer, and finance as well. Okay, the reason is, for normally any kind of project, you see the volume of record is always high for material master compared to the customer and supplier. And when you deal with a huge volume of data, it is very easy to play with ALE IDOC. But when it is a SOA manager, sometimes what happens that because of not having a proper experience, or not flexible much with SOA services, we face a lot of challenges in terms of managing the web services. So that's what, wherever you have a less amount of record, comparatively, you can use the SOA manager. Okay, so that is the whole idea. But ultimately, both can be used for the data replication. Okay, even for customer and supplier, I have seen many projects they use ALE IDOC, and obviously ALE IDOC is much flexible than SOA. SOA is also good, that's not a problem, but sometimes it gives a lot of challenges in order to identify the error. It's not very straightforward what we have in ALE IDOC. Okay. And one more thing, in order to monitor the SOA SOA messages, the transaction which we use, that is SRT underscore money. SRT underscore money. So this is the monitoring process of web services. And then if we execute, I can see how many messages I have within this period of time. Okay, so at this moment my cart is blank because nothing has been done. But if anything has been replicated through SOA services, that can be triggered through this monitoring process. That is nothing but the transaction SRT money. Okay. Any other question? Okay. So with having said that, we complete this one. Not only we talked about ALE IDOC, also we talked about the SOA services. Now, before I go to the DIF or file upload, file download, I will touch upon the consolidation process along with the Fiori configurations. Okay. Now, Fiori, let me tell you, Fiori is big. Okay, it's a separate ocean, I can say. But we will only talk about the Fiori which is needed for MDG point of view. Okay, so we are not going to here to discuss about the whole Fiori. No, that's not our objective. Our objective is for MDG point of view, whatever the Fiori is necessary, that we will talk about. Now the first question is, why I need to use Fiori? You need to use Fiori as a execution launchpad. So far, in order to create or update whatever we were doing, we were using NWBC, right? But apart from NWBC, you can also use Fiori. Now the question is, if in my project I want to implement Fiori Launchpad for master data creation, update, whatever it is, in that case, whether I can continue with NWBC parallelly? Yes, you can. It's not a harmful. You can parallelly use NWBC and Fiori as well. Okay. Now, so what is Fiori? So Fiori, if I say in a very layman language, Fiori is nothing but it's an application which help in order to create or change or update our master data. And for that, we have the Fiori Launchpad. So we use the Fiori Launchpad in order to execute those create, update, etc. activities. Okay. Now, next thing. So this is the Fiori Launchpad URL. So who will give this URL? Mostly this part, what you see, this is mostly a kind of a standard. The remaining part is nothing but your host name and the client details. Okay. So if I open this, and by the way, in order to run Fiori, you should have the S4 HANA in place. That means your system has to be S4 HANA. Your what it say? Your SAP logon should be on S4 HANA. Okay. So now if I use the credential for this, so this is the credential which we need to use for S4 HANA. The same credential we have to use. Okay. So this is the launchpad. By using this launchpad, you can execute. So this is called Fiori Launchpad, and this is called Fiori tiles. These are all different tiles. and every tiles having some objective. Okay. Now, coming to specifically the consolidation and mass processing. Consolidation and mass processing is what? Consolidation is when you are creating mass data, then you can use consolidation. And when you are trying to update mass data, means your data is already in the system, you are just updating those information, then you can use mass processing. So there is a difference. Most of the people does not know what is the difference, the basic difference between consolidation and mass processing. Consolidation means the mass creation, mass processing means the mass update. Okay. Then what exactly needs to configure for this? So this is required, first of all, for consolidation and mass processing, you must to have the S/4HANA system. Okay, it cannot be done on ECC. It will require, the prerequisite is S/4HANA system you need. Secondly, you need the Fiori framework, Fiori Launchpad, okay, in order to execute them, which we have here. Now, the next thing is I need the this is the Launchpad, but I want to create, I want to show you how this mass processing and consolidation we can create. So for that, I need the Launchpad editor. Okay, so in that case, let's say I don't know the URL. I will show you how we can make the URL for that. I will just simply looking for SAP Fiori Launchpad designer URL. So this is the Fiori Launchpad. Okay, Launchpad designer. I will copy till this. This is static. That's what I'm simply copy this. And this is the first part. Okay, so this is the Launchpad designer. So this is the designer where we can come and design our own catalog. So first of all, there are two things, catalog and groups. So what we have seen here, this is nothing but the catalogs. Okay, and this is nothing but a catalog group where you have the data within the groups. So the first thing what we will do, we will create one catalog. Let's say master data governance, consolidation, and mass processing. Okay, just to identify, this is our, so Z MDG, MDC. MDC means master data consolidation and mass processing. So this is the ID which I am creating. Save. Okay, so this is the ID, master data consolidation and mass processing. Now we will create the tiles and also the target mapping. But before that, we need to identify the standard tile for this, because we have the standard tile and the same standard tile we will use. So I will just simply search for the standard one, which provided by SAP. So I can see this is the one which provided by SAP, where I have start mass processing for material, product means material, start mass processing for business partner, including customer and vendor. And also we have create consolidation for business partner and also create consolidation for product. Okay, and also then the monitoring, etc., etc. These are all. Okay. Okay. So let's start with, I will take, let's say, start mass processing for business partner and product both. Okay. Or I will take one for mass processing product and consolidation product. Let's do that. So what I need to do, I need to drag and drop this create reference. And we need to search the one which we created. So it is now copied to our catalog. Similarly, create consolidation, create reference. Oh shit. Wrongly I entered the other group. Wait a minute. I will try again.
Aditya, we can't hear you.
Aditya? Aditya, you're on mute.
We are still not able to hear.
Okay, can you able to hear me now? Okay, I didn't realize that. Uh,
Yeah, you were
it's
on
not
mute.
working. Yes, no, I was not on mute. Uh, it was the GoToMeeting was processing something from my end, so it was like it was forced to make it unmute myself. So anyway, I'm audible now.
It's fine now. I think last 5 minutes you were on mute. But we were unable to hear you.
Oh, okay, fine. So if I quickly then tell you what I did. So basically, I have created this catalog where this I can show you one more time because probably you have missed that. So I think so. Up to this, you have already seen that I have created one catalog, which is a custom catalog, which I will use here as a part of demonstration. Then I went to the standard catalog where the consolidation and mass processing is provided by SAP. So I will just use that. So consolidation, and I can see here is the one where you can see all the standard catalogs tiles are present provided by SAP. So already I have used the start mass processing for product, which is for material, and also use this one, create consolidation for product for material. But due to the audio issue, I could have choose one more or couple of, let's say, start mass processing for business partner. So drag and drop, create reference, and copy to the catalog which I created. So it will
Okay.
then the next is similarly create consolidation for business partner. Again, similarly create reference and consolidation. Done. Now I need to see the semantic object. Okay. Semantic object. So this one is the master data change. And what is the other one? Business partner, master data consolidate. So already this semantic object has been added as a part of target mapping in my group as well. So these two already I use it. So how I use it? With the create reference. Similarly, I copied to my catalog. So now I'm going to my catalog to see how many items I have. So I can see this 4 items I have. Start mass processing for material, start mass processing for business partner, create consolidation for material, create consolidation for business partner. When I say business partner, it is including customer and vendor. And target mapping, I have this master data change and master data consolidate for mass change and consolidation. Okay, so far this is what we have achieved. Now we went to the group. Now in group, I was trying to create the new group or the custom group. Okay. Consolidation and mass processing group, let's say. Okay, save. Now what next? Now we need to show as style. So click here. So I can see this is my catalog and this is the tiles, and I just need to add them. Okay, I just need to add them. Now what next? Whether this is enough? No, this is not enough. I need to also okay, let me close the 810 client because it is not required anymore. Okay, so I need to go to PFCG, which is for MDG role, and there I can create one consolidation mass processing. Okay, this is one role which I am creating. So let's create one single role. And okay, now come to the menu. Now here, go to the SAP Fiori tile catalog. Okay. By the way, wait a minute. This is not the correct system which I'm using. I need to use S4HANA system. PFCG, single role. Then SAP Fiori Launchpad, Launchpad catalog. And what was the ID for catalog? This was the ID for catalog. Okay. Then next, Fiori Launchpad group. So this is the group ID. Okay. So this is for user 9. We can generate the authorization. Okay. Save it. Okay. Now come to the Launchpad and refresh. So now we can expect our catalog to be reflect here. See here, master data governance and consolidation processing group demo. This is the one, right? Where we have start mass processing product, create consolidation process product, start mass processing business partner, and create consolidation process business partner. Okay. So now successfully we implement the catalog with the required tiles. Now the question is, what next? The next is you need to click on this, and here you can see the errors. What is that error? It says the application could not be opened because of UI5 component of the application could not be loaded and failed to load UI5 component. Now what is this error and why this error is appearing? Whether we made some mistake in Fiori? No. Our configuration is absolutely fine. Then why this error is appearing? You need to understand this. That is, if I say, let me open SAP Fiori application library. SAP Fiori application library. Open this. This is open source. So this library will help you in order to get all the references. So our reference is here, let's say MDC, master data consolidation and mass processing. Okay, this is the one. Now I can go to implementation 1909. Okay, now you see this is one reference document or reference site where, let's say I want to implement mass processing and consolidation. Then what are those relevant component, what are those relevant OData services I need to implement? That I need to know. Okay, so SAP has given this detail and we need to follow that. First is implement SAP node. Just make sure those nodes are available or implemented in your system. Okay, by using the S nodes. The next is, this is the front-end component, which is S4 HANA 1909. 1909 is also our component. So that's not a problem. Make sure you should have S4 HANA 1909. Otherwise, other versions also available. 1908 is also available. Sorry, 1809, 1709 is also available. Okay. Then coming to the configuration part. Now this UI5 application. So this is the application name. Okay, so this application name, technical configuration. Whether this is the technical configuration we followed, let's check. Because this is the standard one. So we copied from the standard one. So need to go to the standard one first, where we copied those catalog tiles. This one. Okay. What is the name? SAP TC CMD CMP MON process common. SAP TC CMD CMP MON process common. That means our standard catalog is absolutely perfect, where we copied. Okay. Now what else? The next is, so this is the technical name. So this is the technical name of this. So that is done. Okay. Then next is OData services. Now, first of all, we need to understand what is OData services. Now, if I tell you in a very simple way, like what we did here, so here in this process, I have a different catalog tile. So whenever I click on certain catalog tile, what is going to happen? That particular process will start. Okay. So in that case, how this process will start? Definitely, there is some signal which is going to the backend SAP logon system. And what is that? That is nothing but the OData services. So OData services is nothing but whenever you click those tiles, the relevant process will trigger to the backend system. Backend system means here it is SAP system. Okay. And then you get the relevant activity, whether it is a mass processing or consolidation or create or update, whatever. Okay. So these are all OData services which needs to be activated. Okay. So now I can check those OData services. So the transaction to check the OData services, I must have, I guess. 1 minute. I don't remember at this moment. This is also a basis activity, by the way. Okay, but sometimes you need to also follow up this. So what I need, OData services. OData service decode in SAP. I use this one. No, not this one. No, not this one as well. No, not this one. Sorry, I don't remember this. That's what I need to check. Okay. Gateway application log viewer. Okay, this one. Okay, this is the one. So here we can now search the OData service. See that the first one is not present here. That's the problem. Okay, so this is not here. I can see SRB 1405, SRB 147, 194, 1405, 144. Okay, so first thing is whether we need it. I think we need it because this is I guess required because it is a part of this list. Otherwise, SAP could not have written this. So I think this is one of the problem. So who will help me to maintain these OData services? That is Basis. Basis will help me to maintain these OData services. That is the one thing. Second thing is whatever the other OData services we have, whether they have successfully activated. By seeing, I can see they are activated successfully, but still we need to cross-check with Basis whether it is successfully co-deployed. I think it's co-deployed already. Okay. We can also check the details. Okay. Then what next? The next is this is semantic object catalog name anyway. This is already done. Group is done. Role, we have created our own role. Then this is the technical name already. We have seen that. Now component. application component. Now we need to check whether the application component for this is successfully maintained in this system or not. Because if you see the error is quite clear. Application could not open because the UI5 component of the application could not be loaded. Because some component is or the OData services which is missing for 194, okay, which is for the product. Because of that reason, it is not calling. But our Fiori setup is perfectly fine. Only the OData services or some component which is not in place. Okay, so that we need to cross check with basis. Similarly, if I go with business partner, same with the business partner 147. So I'm quite sure it is related to the OData services and this application component, which is showing here. Okay, so both of the things. So that means if I tell you this activity, this is the configuration, the basic configuration of Fiori. So this basic configuration of Fiori should be done together by MDG and basis. And I have shown you MDG part, whatever needed, we just completed. Creating catalog, catalog tile, creating groups, etc. Now the only part which is left, that is the activate the component, activate the OData services, etc. So that is something basis part. Okay. Now, so till now, whatever we have done, is that only the thing which we need to do? No. There are one more step which we need to follow for consolidation and mass processing. So if I write it down, what are those things we have done for consolidation and mass processing? And mass processing using Fiori. Then what I would say, the first thing which we did, that is we create Fiori catalog, then maintain catalog tiles, then third, maintain target mapping, then fourth, maintain group, then fifth, assign Fiori catalog and Fiori group with MDG role using PFCG, using transaction PFCG, and then follow the SAP Fiori application library to activate application component and OData services. Okay, and the next thing is, which we need to see now, maintain process template in MDG. So 1 to 6 is done. Now the next part is 7th, which is maintain process template in MDG. So in order to maintain the process template, this is one, sorry, not this one. This is one documentation which you can follow, but I will show you. The transaction which you need to use, MDC IMG. MDC, Master Data Consolidation and Mass Processing, not MDG. MDC, IMG. Okay, so this is the Master Data Governance, Consolidation and Mass Processing. So here you need to go for the configure process template, specify process template. Now, why this process template is necessary for consolidation and mass processing? Because in consolidation and mass processing, there are certain steps which we have. Like for consolidation, we have like validations and activation. Similarly, for mass processing, we have edit, validation, and activation. Okay, so because of that reason, we need to maintain those steps here in MDG. So first is, so process template, let's say Z, Z material consolidation. Material master consolidation. B object 194 for material. Now process workflow. So this is for consolidation. So for consolidation, we have to use just need to check the consolidation. Consolidation. MDG. MDG change supplier. I cannot see any consolidation. I cannot see any consolidation in this process. So in that case, what about mass processing? I think some notes probably missing in order to get those details, because I can't see here. Usually it starts with MDG underscore mat or MDG underscore BP, something like that. But I cannot see any mass processing or consolidation. It has create, change, these are all, but not the mass or the consolidation. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Okay. Process workflow it is. Let's see. This is not the appropriate workflow because it is a sandbox system. So we don't have the details as per the expectation, but okay, I can use it. Let's use this one. 54500. This is the workflow template. And the consolidation of the source records. Save. Now for consolidation, two steps, validation and activation. Now validations and activation. So this is provided by SAP. This is the adapter class. So what will be the step number and all? So it is showing step 1 and 2, step type. So step number is 1, let's say. Step type is validation. Okay. And this is the adapter class. Description can be given validation and the adapter class. CL/MDC adapter. This is the one. This is for the validation. Step sequence 1. Just leave it. Yeah. Okay, so this is the validation. Then next is step number 2, activation. And the activation is CL/MDC. This is the activation. Okay. This is the two details. Okay. So this is for the consolidation. Similarly, we have to maintain for mass processing. So let's say ZMap mass processing. again 194. I can use this template and then mass processing. Steps. Okay. Now here, for mass processing, we have edit. So the first step is edit. So this is the edit. And then next is validation. Okay. And the third one is activation. Okay. So this is the step we need to follow. What else? This is optional, by the way, the scope fields. Okay. Then you can execute. Okay. So this is the configuration part. Now, how this consolidation ultimately or mass processing ultimately works? Because here we have this OData services or the application component issue. That's what we are not going to show you the execution, but I have one demo which can give you a quick closure. So let me unshare my screen for a while. Let me open that demo. Okay, now I can share my screen again. Okay, so now this is one demonstration regarding the consolidation. Okay, so far whatever the configuration we did, that is up to the configuration part. Now what we see, that is the execution part. Okay, now in MDG consolidation, we are actually what we are doing, we are in this particular example, categorically, we are creating the best record. So we have a multiple record like address 1A, 1B, 1C, and from these three different records, we are creating one master records. That is the whole idea. Now, in this case, I will just pause here. In this case, whatever we have configured so far, so for configuration, consolidation, we configured for basically two steps, validations and activation. Whether this is possible? No, this is not possible categorically for this example. Yes, if I am just simply uploading the data, I have a list of data in the Excel, and that data I'm just uploading, and based on that, a mass records are creating. That's a simple process. That's what I have a validations and activation. But in this example, it is actually not only uploading the multiple records like address 1A, 1B, and 1C, also it is matching the records and making one master records. So it's beyond this. Okay, so that's what the example which you see, you can see more steps here. Steps like matching, recording, etc. But I have only simple steps. If you are doing a simple activity, just I have a data in Excel, I just want to create a mass upload, then you can directly upload those records and that will create the mass data. Then just 2 steps are enough. But if it is beyond this, then you have to increase the number of steps. Okay. So here, create the new consolidation process, standardize the data record. So basically we upload the data using Excel or whatever, then definitely using Excel, I guess. Then match the record and then calculate the record. So match record and calculate record is the additional steps. Okay, here. And then finalize the consolidation and then create a single record like address 1. So this is the objective here. Okay, in that case, if I see the execution directly, see this is the custom, and then we have some customizing rule at the calculate best record level, etc. Now you see how many steps it has. It has total 5 steps: standardization, matching, best record calculation, validations, and activation. In our case, we have just validations and activation in a normal scenario. But whenever you are doing the matching, best record calculation, like you have multiple records, you need to have a one record, such kind of things, then you should have the best record calculation, etc. Then you have some additional steps. So in that case, whether you can use at any point of time, you can use that. See, standardization, then matching, then best record calculation. These are all you can use it. Okay. Okay. So what is going to happen? So user, by using the Excel, they upload the data and it has 3 records. That is address 1A, address 1B, address 1C. 3 records only. And now continue with, and the records are coming from the different source systems. That is also information. Now proceeding with this or continue with this. So now it is a standardization stage. Then it will go to the matching stage. Okay. So this is the 3 records. You can see this is the 3 records, and this is the source system from where the data is appearing. So in these 3 records, what we can see in address 1, we have more or less same information, just the search term is different. Address 2, we have again almost same information, just the search term is different. And address C, I can see again the search term is different, and then date of birth is there, where the other 2 does not have the date of birth. Okay, continue. So this is the ultimately raw data I have. Now I am processing with this raw data, which came from the different source system. Okay, let's see, and this is the difference. Now continue. Now in order to continue this, now it will go to the matching stage. Now the data will match. So with all these 3 records, it will match. Okay. Now you can give the necessary approvals as well, and then continue. which is nothing but the best record calculation. Okay, so in the best record calculation, you can see this is the record, which is nothing but the address 1, which came from this source system, and then which is record 1 of 3, and this is the search term. And you can see this is it does not have date of birth, which is third record having. Okay, now you can see the best record calculation, and if you want to create any specific rules in the best record calculation, that you can make with the source systems. By the way, I did not show this because it is optional. It is not every project will have this best record calculation. What we have done, the configuration, that is the most of the project will do. Okay, this is the exceptional case which is showing here. Okay, now you can, based on the different tables, you can define the source record, which is coming from the different source systems, and this is the table which is impacting, and then the rules. So this is the rule ID. So this is source system. This is one rule ID. Another one is recency is another rule ID, which has been created respect to the table BUT000, which is the address general data. Then, which is this one. Based on this rule, it appears. So after this best record calculation, now we can, okay, the new entries can be created. Field, this is date of birth. Sequence, which sequence you want, sequence 1. And rule, completeness, rule ID. So make sure that the data which will be created, that will, or the data which will be sorted, that should have the date of birth maintained. And then go back. And then finally, yeah, you can roll back to the, again, best data record calculation. So this stage again will appear. Then you can see the date of birth appear. Okay. And then you can continue with the validations and derivations. Sorry, validations and activations. Okay. And then continue with validation and activation. And finally, your records gets completed or finished. And then you can see the record in the table. This is very, I would say, very different type of scenario. But as I mentioned, in normal process, always consolidation, you have mainly 2 steps, which is validation and activation, where in mass processing, you have edit, validation, and activation. Okay, this is the detail. So I think This is the all about the consolidation and mass processing using Fiori, the end-to-end configurations and the execution. Okay. Now, regarding the relative documents, the steps, whatever is required, that is already in place in the shared drive, so you can utilize those details. Okay. So this is the consolidation and mass processing. So any questions so far related to the consolidation and mass processing, including Fiori configurations? Any question on this?
Aditya, maybe in the next class, will you be able to activate the OData service or something? And
I will check. I will check with Basis. I will ask him to whatever the OData services and application components are missing, if they can activate that. Okay. Definitely, if that works, then obviously very good. Or sometimes what happens that because it is a sandbox system, so sometimes what happens that you may be required some OSS nodes to implement. So we will see. We will definitely try to execute this. Then at least we can see one or two examples, because otherwise the rest of the configurations are already in place. Only the OData services and the application component needs to be checked. I will definitely do that. Even without saying this, I will definitely try this. Yeah. Okay, but at least you understand the steps, right? Whatever the steps we followed from the Fiori end and from the process template point of view for the consolidation and mass processing. Okay, fine. Then let me move to the DIF and file download and file upload. Okay, so DIF is nowadays, because we have this consolidation and mass processing by using Fiori application. So as I said, what is consolidation? It's a mass update. So mass creation, sorry. And mass processing is the mass update. So by using these two, already we can do all sort of data updation activity. Before introducing this consolidation and mass processing, there was DIF, which was running on ECC. Okay, I mean not S4 HANA, but if you have a backend ECC MDG, then DIF can be used. That's what intentionally I first discussed with the consolidation and mass processing, because most of the project now using this. So that's what you need to understand this, rather you understand DIF. Even if you say that I don't know about DIF, then also it's fine. Okay, because DIF is hardly used any project nowadays, because most of the project now move to S4 HANA and they use consolidation and mass processing, which is quite advanced and much user friendly for the customer as well. Okay, but DIF also we will see. I have a complete document for that. I will just walk through that document. But I doubt hardly any project nowadays use DIF. Even for the new project which is kicking off, definitely DIF will not be recommended. Okay. Now, what is DIF? Data Import Framework. So what we do through consolidation or mass processing, more or less same sort of a story we can do. We can create or we can update the multiple records at a time. Okay, and that is to the basic information followed by the classification and other details. So we have some prerequisite for that. So I have some steps written here for DIF. data import framework. Okay. Now, so what are those master data? It can be impacted. It is impact on material master data, basic information, classification of material master data, customer master data, vendor master data, finance master data, etc. Okay. Now, prerequisite of the data transfer. So what is the prerequisite for that? Now, before I talk about the prerequisite, I hope everybody at least having understanding about application server and presentation server. Okay. Application server is something which is our, in SAP system, the application level when we keep the data. That is, we say that application server data. And presentation server is when we have the data in the presentation layer. Then we can have the presentation server data. Now, why I'm using this term? Because in the prerequisite, there are three major points which we need to follow here. What is that? That is, we export the master data information from the source system in Excel or XML format, and that Excel, we will keep it on application server. So basically what happens, this DIF majorly used for the mass update, which we can also do with the mass processing through Fiori. Okay. So earlier, before coming this mass processing Fiori, this DIF was using majorly for any kind of mass update. So what was happening? Already mass update means already your master data is present in the system. You are just extracting those records and you are changing those information and uploading those information in the system or updating those information in the system. So you export the master data from the source system and you make the changes and you put it into the application server. Okay. Then copy the Excel file or XML file, let's say Excel file, application server of the source system to the application server of the target system. And then we import it. So this is the three prerequisites we follow. Then step one. Step one is define the object type for the data transfer. So in this document, I have talked about in a very detailed manner, but here I will just talk about the major lines which needs to be followed. Okay. So the first is define the object type for data transfers. Define the object types for the data transfers. Okay. So what happens? You need to go to MDG IMG data transfer. So this whole data transfer process, what you see here, it is now in we are working with S4 HANA and Fiori, it is replaced with MDG IMG, which is master data consolidation and mass processing. Okay. So first is define object types for data transfers. When you apply this, you basically need to create the object type. For if it is for material, then material, or supplier or customer, accordingly you have to maintain that, the BO type, etc. Then next, define file, source, and archive directories for the data transfer. File, source, and archive directories. Okay. So what you need to do, the transaction FILE. Define the file, source, and archive directories. In this particular define file, source, and archive directories, you provide the logical path for the data upload. Okay. And that logical path assigned with the object type. Fine. But this logical path, you need to go to the transaction called file, and you need to also assign the logical path here. And that logical path is having the actual the application path name. This is the actual application path name where you store the data in the application server. Okay, so this is the one. Then next is go to the transaction AL11. In AL11, you maintain those paths as a SAP files directory. Then next is call the transaction CG3Z and then start uploading the file from the application server. So this is the application file which we pick and we put it into the front end of the source, the presentation. This is the our local desktop location. This is the application server location of the target file, and then we process. So basically, what we happen. So this is NWBC screen. In the data transfer, import master data. In the import master data, so first we select the change request type as a Z mat0b, or rather, if we go by the standard, it's a mat0b. Then first select the material as an object type, and then object type material, and then provide the source directory and import. As soon as you import, you get one run number, and that run number you can monitor through the search criteria, and you can see whether the data is uploading or updating, and you can identify the details. But again, I repeat, and finally you can see the data in the Mara table. Let's say you are updating with some classification for the material, so that you can see that. So by seeing this, this is little complicated steps. But if you go by the consolidation and mass processing, just you follow that, implement the Fiori, then you follow the configuration for process template and everything, prepare the file and upload it. So it's pretty straightforward, rather than creating all those application server, presentation server, etc., etc. Okay. So this is the DIF. But again, I repeat, DIF is now replaced with consolidation and mass processing. Okay. And finally, file upload and file download. However, in normal project, the use of file upload and file download is nowadays quite nominal, or we don't use it. The idea of having this download or upload, not from the developer point of view, but for the user point of view. If user want to download some data information, they can download some material information or supplier information, or if they want to upload, they can upload. But again, if I want to upload, I have mass processing. Okay, for single and multiple record, both we can use mass processing. So file upload is not a best option anymore, but I can talk about file download. So file download, it's very straightforward. Let me go switch to the another system, because in that system I have NWBC. So let's say material governance. File download. Okay. Let's say material information. Variant, if I want, I can save it, otherwise it's not mandatory. Now material number. I need a material number. Let's say this is the material number. Then next. And then what are those information I need? I can select it. Let's say material number, material type, material group, and what next? Industry sector. I think that's fine. This many information is okay. Go to next. Complete download. No conversion. Let's say tabular space. Next. Execute download. This is the data. This is just a detail. And now this is what the details is. Material type, material group. So incomplete data. That's what if you don't have value, you can't see in a proper way. So this is the download. Honestly speaking, nobody is using this, but this is one of the features which we have. So I think having said this, we cover all the topics under the data replication and import. So what are those things we have covered today? In replication, we covered ALE IDOC with DRF. Then we covered SOA services with DRF. Then we covered Fiori configuration with consolidation and mass processing. Then we talked about little bit on DIF and then file download. File upload anyhow not necessary because nobody is using file upload. Rather, you can use DIF or you can use mass processing. Okay, so that's what. So the rest which we have, that is in the next session, I will talk about the case studies, which is a part of enrichment MDG. Then generic issues anyway, whenever we come across the different topics and different chapters, we focus on the issues, what can be possible, but still I will talk about whatever I can recollect. Theory we discussed today, and then the next thing which we have, that is MDG enterprise asset model management model. So this is another data model, so which we can talk about. So probably the next session we will talk about the enrichment topics. Okay. So any question anybody has? And in the meantime, of course, I will try to get the things done, particularly the OData services and the application component. Then we can see whether we can at least have a 1 or 2 execution. And whatever I discussed today regarding replication, consolidation, mass processing, everything, all the documents are already in the SharePoint. So you can collect from there and you can refer them. Okay. So any question anybody has? Okay. If nobody has any question, so I will wrap up the session here today, and we will have a next session on next week. Okay. Thanks for joining. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.